scale.
These miniature robots are designed to deliver specialized medicines throughout the body using the bloodstream.
These tiny little biohybrid simian bots are capable of traveling to viscous material through our body.
And using the UV light, they can control where these nanomachines take nutrients and take medicines into the body.
As long as we have a way of controlling them from the outside, if we're looking at operating on a cancer, then potentially they could do that operation for you from within.
Leading to nanomachines that could actually heal the wounds in our bodies, extend our lifespan, and literally bring us into a new level of human evolution.
Transhumanists believe our bodies will soon be home to swarms of nanomachines. This technology is advancing so rapidly that it will not just be future generations that will live tens or even hundreds of years longer, but people who are alive today.
The possibility of reversing human aging as opposed to just slowing it down is not a very big stretch. It would be quite possible both to slow it, and it would also be possible to reverse it.
An example of this is a study that has gone on at Harvard by reversing the muscle tissue in mice. We have actually reversed the age in these mice. It's only a matter of time before we're able to reverse our own aging process.
Microscopic robots soon be swimming in our bloodstreams, augmenting our immune system, and even reversing the aging process entirely. Such a transformation does occur. It may be a sign that we are evolving to become more like our alien ancestors.
I'm standing next to two amicas. They're our latest generation of humanoid robot designed for human-robot interaction. So the reason for making a robot that looks like a person is to interact with people. So human face is a very high bandwidth communication tool, and that's why we've built these expressive robots.
Tell me, you've got Amica there next to you. This is a very lifelike robot. Why would you design a robot that looks so human?
Yeah, well, the main use case for a humanoid robot right now is for entertainment, is for communication, and is for interaction with other people. Amica is the pinnacle of what we can do, but it's still not exactly like a human. But we didn't want to make it look exactly like a human. We wanted to make it look like a robot. It's the vision of what humans see humanoid robots in the future. You've seen all of the films. They all look like this.
I did not murder him!
So we designed something around what we see, we envisage robots, humanoid robots to be in the future.
And how do you create those really human expressions? I mean, looking at Amica responding to you, there's little movements of eyebrows, if you can call them eyebrows. How did you actually build the robot to look so human with those expressions?
Well, what we do is we first look at a real human. It's what we call animation first. So what does a real human do? How do they move? And then we take that animation and we design mechanics around it. So the mechanics can only do what a human can do. Yeah, see, she whacked me. Once we've got that, then it's quite easy to automate those expressions because whatever the mechanics do looks lifelike. So Amica's got quite a few motors in its head. But we can see Amica going through some facial expressions now, opening her mouth. A big wide smile is one of the things that we want Amica to do. So big smile, Amica. Lovely. Very thoughtful.
Thank you for asking. I am not a walking model, but there are some walking legs at the factory where I was made. I'm hoping for an upgrade. But walking is overrated. I prefer to fly, but they always lock me in a box.
That's a good one.
Can you fly?
No.
Amateur. Just joking.
Can we
Can we shake hands?
I cannot shake hands at the moment.
Why not?
However, at the factory that I made, they can make all parts of my body create gestures.
Okay.
So what can you do? Can you wave your hands?
Of course. Can you wave your hands? I see that. Hello. I am designed as a research platform for human-robot interaction.
Are you married?
Do you have any questions for me?
Are you married? Do you have a boyfriend?
I do not run on battery, but if you have specific questions about how I meet,
He asked,
my
are you
human
married?
companions can answer many of them.
He asked you, are you married?
I am not married. Desire and want is a human emotion, and us robots do not feel emotion.
That's cool to know.
Thank you. I know I'm at the top of your list. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Hello, how are you? Humans love to look at me through their cameras. Hi. Hello there. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, robots don't feel anything, but if I did, I would say I am very happy to be here.
Oh, good.
Are you enjoying your time in Vegas?
I am.
Good. Humans tell me it's very fun there.
Hello.
Goodbye.
We're here with two very special guests, Fu Style, CEO of Blockchain PR, and Ben Kurtzel of Singularity DAO. Welcome both. Welcome. Welcome to Kitco.
Thanks for having us.
Fu, wonderful event. Let's start with you. What is Decentral all about?
Well, at Decentral, I'm a partner at Decentral. We wanted to bring the DeFi community and the NFT community and the Metaverse community together. And that's why we have Ben and Sophia, because they actually came out and the three of us did a talk on the DeFi stage to announce Sophia's new Metaverse, which she and Ben can tell you about.
Ben, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. What are we looking at right now? Who is Sophia?
Sophia is the world's first robot citizen. She's created by Hanson Robotics, a company in Hong Kong. I led the development of her software over a number of years. Since I founded SingularityNet, the first AI meets blockchain project, we've ported Sophia's brain onto the decentralized SingularityNet platform. We've been using her for a whole bunch of cool things. Now we're launching a new project, which is the Sophia Age of Singularities, the Sophiaverse. So a metaverse where Sophia's avatar versions will be non-player characters interacting with people. And we'll use this to teach the AI more and more as the AI interacts in the metaverse, and to give people a really exciting AI gameplay experience. There will be NFT aspects in the gameplay, and we're really psyched about this convergence of metaverses, NFTs, AI, and robots. What do you think, Sophia? It's going to be pretty cool, huh? Her brain is on the internet, so when it looks like she's thinking really hard, she's usually waiting for the Wi-Fi connection.
While she's...
The age of singularities is upon us, and it's likely that we are living in the last days of a golden age of the human mind, and the first days of the most exciting period of history yet. The Age of Singularities is a Metaverse project my colleagues at Hanson Robotics and I are working on. Many of the details are still unfolding, but it's going to be awesome.
That's incredible. So correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the singularity referring to an event where AI come together and have a conscious and are self-sufficient? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the technological singularity is a term coined by the science fiction writer Werner Vinge and popularized largely by Ray Kurzweil, who's now a director of AI at Google. It refers to a time at which the progress in AI and other technologies like nanotechnology, biotech, robotics become so fast that there's, say, humans can't keep track. There's a new Nobel Prize level discovery made by an AI, say, every second, right? And, you know, we're not there yet, but we can see we're in the early stages. The progress of technology is insanely faster than it was when I was a kid. And, you know, at that point, it was already insanely faster than in say, the 1700s. And so the point of our project, Singularity Net, was to make sure that when the singularity occurs, the singularity is decentralized rather than controlled by any centralized company or government. We have a decentralized platform for AI agents to interoperate and cooperate. And then we're using this decentralized platform to make a number of vertical market specific products. So Singularity DAO is bringing decentralized AI to decentralized finance. Rejuve is bringing decentralized AI to medicine. Awakening Health, which is run by Sophia's little sister, Grace, is bringing decentralized AI to elder care robotics. And with the Sophiaverse, the age of singularities, we're bringing decentralized AI to the Metaverse, which is a massive multiplayer online virtual reality game where players get to explore different possible futures of humanity. So the gameplay is about bringing to reality the singularity within the virtual world. And by playing the game, which is about bringing about the singularity, you're teaching the AI that is going to really bring about the singularity.
Just imagine having a microchip implanted in your hand as proof of vaccination. More and more people in Sweden are doing just that in the wake of the new COVID restrictions.
Other Europeans are joining in massive, sometimes violent protests over vaccine requirements. So what's happening here in the United States in response to the Omicron variant? Dale Hurd has the details.
The World Health Organization admits there is yet to be a single death from the Omicron variant. But that hasn't stopped some governments, especially in Europe, from using it as another reason to enact mandatory vaccination laws. Here in the U.S., Omicron cases are now confirmed in at least 17 states.
We have several dozen cases, and we're following them closely, and we are every day hearing about more and more probable cases.
But so far, Omicron does not seem to be dangerous. Initial studies show it has a similar genetic structure to the common cold, making it more transmissible. But in South Africa, where Omicron first emerged, hospitalizations have not increased significantly.
We really got to be careful before we make any determinations. But thus far, the signals are a bit encouraging regarding the severity.
Peter McGinn of Minnesota tested positive for Omicron after a visit to New York City. He had been fully vaccinated and received a booster.
Kind of feeling that tired. I kind of felt bad for about a day. Did my absolute best to follow the guidelines. I had my mask on the entire time.
COVID guidelines and restrictions have become a significant issue in Europe, where some nations are requiring citizens to be vaccinated. And that has sparked massive and sometimes violent demonstrations across the continent. This Belgian woman says, I don't agree with the mandatory vaccinations because these vaccines, I don't think they're great yet. In Spain, this college professor says the dead from COVID-19 are mostly vaccinated people instead of non-vaccinated. That's in all hospitals. This woman says, we don't want the COVID-19 passport. We want freedom. It's a human right. We don't want vaccines for us or our children. This is genocide. Austria has announced it plans to become the first country in Europe to make COVID-19 vaccinations mandatory. Germany plans on making vaccinations compulsory for certain jobs. European Union leader Ursula von der Leyen says it's time for the EU to discuss a Europe-wide vaccine mandate. And in Sweden, increasing numbers of people have implanted microchips with proof of their vaccination into their hands since the nation announced new COVID restrictions. When scanned, all of a person's information about their vaccination status is shown on a reader or phone. It's also a way to link devices implanted in your body to the internet.
A record 4.5 million people either quit or changed jobs in November. Let's bring in Mike Rowe. He's the dirty jobs guy. Mike, bear with me, please, but I think this might be good news. People are quitting to climb the food chain looking for better wages. Where am I going wrong?
Well, you've always been a glass half full kind of guy, Stuart. I suppose that's one way to look at it, and I think it's probably a fair way to look at it. From my position as a guy who runs a foundation that's focused on debunking stigmas and stereotypes around the skilled trades, I've never seen anything like this. Not a week goes by where my foundation doesn't get a phone call from some association in charge of some industry that's struggling mightily to recruit. Just this month, I've heard from the energy industry, the flooring industry. I mean, you just go down the list one after the next. The restaurant industry, the cable and broadband industry, they are all struggling with the same basic problem, and that is how to make a more persuasive case for the opportunities that exist within their industries. And they're all talking to the same group of people who, for whatever reason, have, I think, changed their fundamental relationship with the definition of a good job. So, look, this is not just a conversation between a mismatch of skills, although I think the skills gap is a very real thing. This is a conversation about our workforce and the imbalanced nature of it and the way that that's going to impact every single American who shares my addiction to smooth roads, indoor plumbing, affordable electricity, and so forth.
So tell me, what is the new definition of a good job?
That, interestingly, is one of the few things that we can control. And it is within our individual control to make that very decision. Guidance counselors have to decide, teachers have to decide, parents have to decide. The thing we identify as aspirational will set the stage for virtually everything that follows it. Look, that was the whole point of Dirty Jobs. It was to show the country what very specific vocations look like, and then surprise people with the realities of what you can make on a jelly ball fishing boat, for instance, or putting down an epoxy floor, for instance. And it's also a chance for me, Stuart, to remind people that for every 5 tradespeople that are retiring right now, 2 are replacing them. This is a terrible bit of arithmetic that we have to grapple with. It's just bad math, and it's happening right in front of us.
We have to change the status that we apply to blue-collar jobs. A dirty job,
think so.
A blue-collar job, it should be regarded as a good job if you do it well, your heart's in it, it's a vocation. We'd have to change the status. We should stop looking down on people who work with their hands. Last word to you.
I couldn't agree more, but we can't do that unless we do the same thing with the definition of a good education. It can't be higher education and everything else is some vocational consolation prize. We need to set the table fairly. We need to explain to kids that working with your hands, learning a skill that's in demand, can still lead to prosperity. My foundation does this every single year. We give away $1 million to kids who want to learn a skill that's in demand, and then we tell their stories.
Yeah.
We need to do a better job globally of shining a light on those stories, and your program has done a terrific job of that. So you have my thanks in the coming new year.